We walk Diego up to somebody, we say sit, even though Diego's deaf, I'm still going to say the commands, but I just apply a tiny bit of pressure and he'll sit there. Stay is built in the sit, so you don't have to do hand signals for the stay. He just knows that he's waiting to be released. So we step away from him, hand the person a little treat there. I'm going to pat his chest, and he's very excited. So if he gets excited, you just sort of like, everything stops, you don't send him there, you stand up and apply a little bit more pressure just like I did. So we're doing this purposely. The first thing we're doing is this. He really likes Cruz, and he's excited because I wanted you to see how I do it when he's extra excited. With your right hand, no. See how I pulled it away because he was messing with it and I just kind of tapped him? No. So he has to be calm. He has to exert self-control to be calm in order to go over and get the treat and get petted. Nope. So if that happens, just do your little left circle, step into him. Everything is calm and gentle. And I'd say gentle but firm, but calm. There's no correcting. So I tapped him and I turned into him and I reset him. Go. Come. Good. And all I had to do was tap. It's like a tap on the shoulder. Hello. He's going to turn around, see you, and run back to you. Okay. Do another one. It's a really good thing to do, to do that left circle to reset him when you're going to do a sit stay or a down stay. Just puts him in that mindset where he's going into work mode. You see how he's starting to calm down? Nope. Nope. See, I tapped him and he went back. Nope. Go. Come. Good. One more time. And you're going to use this for just practicing at home, in your house, in your yard, with family members to make sure that he respectfully relates to them when going to say hi, and when people come home from work or back from someplace, or the first time that he sees them in the day. You do this with each other so that he becomes respectful and calm when he goes over to greet you. See how he stopped himself that time? Nope. He has to wait. Go. That was the third time now. Come. Good. I didn't have to tap him that time. What's great about this and about dogs in general is that they behave situationally, so he knows what we're doing. I don't really have to tap him. I certainly don't have to say the command because he's deaf. He can't hear me. But he came back to me because that's the way we always practice it. So it's just this thing that as you practice it, it goes on by itself. It's just automatic because you've established this pattern. And you see how calm he is now that we started out when he was just really excited. I kind of caught him by surprise. He didn't know we were going to do anything. He was just out in the yard running around. And then Cruz comes out and the person with the camera comes out. I'm here. I just hooked him up and we just launched into it. And it just took a few minutes. And now he's getting so bored he wants to collapse into a down. So now I'm going to do it with no treats. And you're just going to pet him, okay? No treats. No. Don't let him mess with your hand there. No. Make sure he waits. See how he's waiting? Go. I haven't tapped him yet, but see how he keeps looking back to me? And he's not jumping or anything like that. He's used to, look at that, good boy, okay. I want to make sure that if he's always checking in with the person that sent him over, I want to make sure when he comes back he gets paid, so that every time that happens the pattern gets stronger and stronger. But you see how he's been taught to only go over, if everything good is down here on his level, the treat in the hands, there's no reason to jump. And then the other part of it is, I mean, even I could even try to get him worked up and pet him a lot and like get him worked up and excited and see if he'll jump on me. But most likely he won't because he's never done that because of the way we've handled it. If he does, you say no. And then he stops like that and you pet him. If he jumps on you guys again, it would be the same thing. As soon as he jumps, all the attention, all the hands, go ahead. See how Cruz gets down there and meets him? You don't wait for him to jump on you and then start correcting him and pushing him down, because that's what perpetuates the original bad behavior he had of jumping all over everybody when he was excited. So he jumps, no, he stops, good. Good, he comes over to you, you're there to meet him. You're always taking the first step so that the appropriate behavior kicks in him, because you did what triggered it first. The hands are there to meet him, and then if the inappropriate behavior comes out, you stop it by the hands going away, and even your body, it's body language. You go like this and you even back away a little bit, he'll stop, and then you move forward and pet again. That's why he's learned to exert self-control. It's about teaching him self-control. He really wants to be petted like that. Good boy. So you feed the behavior that you want to grow in strength, and you starve out the behavior that you want to die off by not correcting it. So that's how we've been doing it, and you can see the results. Okay. Sit. No, so he loves his mat. Okay. And as all the dogs do, for the most part, when we're doing this, they love it because, and I'll just say him instead of they, he loves it because good things happen on the mat. And see how he wants to go there so badly? And when he makes a mistake and jumps the gun, I'm going to just reset him like that until he waits. He knows how this is played. He just gets excited and he is anticipatory, so he jumps the gun. But we really have to make sure that he waits. See how he stopped himself? Go. And then down, although he'll go down anyway without me helping him with my foot on the leash or saying it. He can't hear me, but I'm still going to say it. And then stay is built into down as it is in sit, and that's just from day one. We practiced in teaching him that he's not going to get up until he's released. So he's waiting for us to do a very specific set of moves which tells him now he can get up. If he gets up any other way, we put him back. If he stays there like this, he gets paid. Nope. Good. See how I'm really making sure that he's not touching my hand, he's not grabbing it. Really has to be respectful and wait. I'm going to walk around this way now until we place the little reward on the mat and withdraw. Good. I just say good because that's what I do with dogs at here, and it just comes like second nature to me, so I'm just going to speak to him like he can hear. But if this is all you do, is you put the mat out somewhere in a big open area, your yard, or in a big room that you have, and you practice with him in a downstay, respectfully waiting to take the reward as you withdraw. So you place it there, and I'll even wait for a couple of seconds. He's really waiting, I withdraw, and he takes it off the mat. If this is all you do, and then you practice a basic downstay, which is for the dog to accept you walking around, all the way around, back to where you started in front, from both directions, and then rewarding. And see how I do it? I'm just holding it, and I'm overhand. I'm swinging in like this, placing it there, and he gets to take it when I withdraw. I'm not going like this, or anything like that. It's just super easy. You're going to take it out of your pouch or your pocket, whatever you have. I recommend a pouch like this, and swing in so you're not tempting him to jump up and take it from you. And then you can start doing things like walking farther away and coming back. But really, if you just practice that for 5 minutes a day, where he's on the mat, good, he accepts you walking around both ways, he respectfully waits until you put the reward there on the mat and then withdraw. You're way ahead of the game, and you have several people in your household doing the same thing with him. Once he's perfect and he won't get up or won't move in one spot, you want to move that exercise to another room or another part of the yard, or something like that. So, because if you only do it in one spot, the training will start to get stale and it really won't work that well. So you're always pushing the envelope a little bit. You're not doing something really hard, but you're just changing the location. Good. So, for example, if you really didn't have much space, and I don't know how much space you have, I haven't been there yet, but if you didn't have much space at all and you only had one open space like this, to get up, I just tap his little head or his ear, have him sit, lead him off the mat, have him sit, and then say, okay. So let's say that we're trying to get the most mileage out of each spot. And he's perfect facing this way. Sit. Or we're going to start doing it with his head facing the other direction, because to the dog, that's like a completely new exercise, although it's in the same spot. Make sure he really waits until you tap his chest. He's really excited, right? That leash is always loose. You're never restraining him. Go to your mat, down. And now it's a whole new exercise because he's facing in a different direction. But everything else that you do is the same. Walking around in both ways. I also do this in the house. I'm not going to film that for you, but we'll do it when I get there and practice it with you. And I put him down in the living room, and I walk all over the house to different places. I'll go outside, and he sees me go out the door closes behind me. He waits till I come back. So you can do this in the house as well. Good. And it's a calming exercise. It's a focus exercise, which is what he needs. He needs to be doing this every day, and whoever does this with him will be an object over time of respect. So you do this with him, and he starts to respect you. And then you stop doing other things that we'll identify when we have our lessons together. Okay, if he's looking at you, okay. You can pat your leg and just kind of take him off the mat like that. If he doesn't get up, don't pull him off and don't stop, but just double down on, hey, let's go, come on, buddy, with a little tap. You saw I tapped him and moved forward, and he came my way. But in general, if he's not looking at you, it's touching his head. See how that tells him that it's time to walk forward with you. That's what I do. So that's how to put him on the mat. That's how to do the exercise. Those are some basic rules, and that's how to take him off the mat. We are going to go into the house, and this is the front door of one of our training houses. Sit. It's always the same. Boundary training, boundary control is very important. Anybody can do it. And since you take a dog through boundaries all day long, why not turn it into an exercise? And it's really valuable if you only have a few minutes a day to train. You can come on in. We're going to keep going. We have somebody that's going to come through the door. See how I stepped in? He waited for me. He waited for me to come back and get him. I'm going to touch his ear, walk in. Somebody's going to follow us. Is he coming? He's really slow. Come on, because we want to do this video. All right, so we are going to close the door. I'm going to show you how I bring him out. So I'm going to have him sit, and then I'm going to open the door. So I always have him sit and then open the door, because it's harder for them to stay in a sit-stay. A lot of dogs have a tendency to pop up because their owners weren't doing it this way. So I'm going to walk him a little bit closer to you, sit, so you can really see him at the threshold waiting. He waits, you step out to accentuate the fact that he really is waiting for you. He's not chasing after you. You never call the dog to you through a threshold, a boundary like a curb or a gateway or a door, because then all he learns is that he can chase after you, and you have a really weak sit stay if he doesn't wait only until you come back to get him. So he's waiting. I'm going to touch his head. That's the signal to walk through with me. If you're by yourself, do this little left turn to close the door. Always turn left. If I'm going to go right, I'm going to turn left to go right, because it's a big move in dog training. It's very dominant. You step into them, they get out of your way. Also with the left turns, it draws them back next to you, which keeps a loose leash. If you're turning right, you start dragging him around, and when there's tension on the leash, they tend to go against it and he'll start pulling again. But right now, I've done so many of these, there's a good chance that if I do this, that he comes my way, and he's starting to. See that? So if you ever wanted to do some real off-leash stuff with the deaf dog, because he is deaf, that's the way to get there. At the very least though, when you're always turning into him, he gets used to being right next to you, and the leash stays loose, and it's all good. And it's also, every time you do that, it's a little dose of dominance. It's dominance in a safe way. When your body is literally hurting him in a direction, now I don't even really have to touch him much because he knows how it goes. He's always going to go my way. When you're doing that, the dog is like, oh, that's the boss. Okay, that's the boss. When you're dragging him around, you're turning right and dragging him, there's no respect there. There's no good feeling on his part. You're just forcing him to go somewhere with the leash. So use your body, and it's one of those things, many things that we're doing throughout the day, that it's a piece of the puzzle that makes him calmer, because if he feels like somebody's in charge and taking charge by doing things like this every day, making him weighted boundaries, all that kind of stuff, then he's going to be calmer. He's going to be safer. So he's going to feel generally, like somebody else is calling the shots, does calm him down throughout the day. And really we're after the byproduct of how we do all these little things throughout the day with him. The byproduct of doing it this way is that 24/7, he's a calmer, easier to handle dog. Now we're going to do the rest of the boundaries. Okay, sit. We're going to come out onto the street, and of course I'm going to do the boundary training at the main gate coming out into public. So I had him sit, open the gate, step out, he waits for me, step back, touch his head, comes with me, left turn, close the gate, and any time that he pulls away from you or ahead or anything like that, just tap and release. It's really easy, and that will stop him. And you'll see, if you watch this video, see all the little times that I subtly do that, and it stops from the pulling. If I do this and restrain him, the pulling doesn't stop, it gets worse over time. So you're never going to do continuous tension. It's tap and release, or tap and release and use your body to reset him, and it just keeps the leash loosed 99% of the times. Now we're going to cross the street, but before we cross the street, we always have him sit at the curb. And this is a great place to practice. There are kids playing basketball across the street. You don't have to show it, but he's focused on something, but still he's in a sit stay. So he can look there, but he has to stay in a sit stay because that's where I put him. And you see, he knows that he can get paid, and so that takes his attention off anything else. And if I tap his head like this, he looks up again, I can pay him again. Good. And now we're going to cross the street. Okay. I tapped his head and moved forward. And over here, once we've done all this boundary stuff, we did the front yard. We did the front door, we did through the yard and at the front gate, and now the curb in front of our place, cross the street, sit. He's really interested in those basketball players over there. He's waiting on a loose leash, go. Now he's free. Now we start the walk. But because we spent a couple of minutes, if I hadn't been talking to you, maybe less than 2 minutes of just waiting at all the boundaries, you finally start the walk and you have him in the calm zone because you started the walk that way. If you just attach him to the leash and he's all excited and he pulls you through your property and out the front door and out to the curb, you're going to have an out of control dog that's overstimulated, which is his big problem. He gets extremely overexcited because of his deafness, more so than a dog that can hear. And he can do inappropriate things when he's overstimulated. So we're always doing these little things to set him up for success, and it really has to do with how we're doing it. We're in control of how he starts the walk. We're in control of everything by the way we handle him. Bottom line, with any dog, they behave according to how they're handled by the people. So you handle them this way, and you get this. This is the start of our walk, and now we're gonna take a little walk. You saw how I started the walk from the inside of my house. the leash on him so that we had a calm dog on our walk. And now, really, I would say the vast majority of the time the walk is like this. Left hand leash just hooked over my wrist. Right hand is completely free. The walk is supposed to be relaxing and fun time. You're not in a competition. You're not in a stadium doing obedience. He's on free time. He can sniff. If he wants to pee, he can pee. Whatever he wants to do. And if something comes that you want to get him away from, or if he's pulling, it's just come, a little tap. He turns around. He sees your right hand target. Good boy. And he sees you backing away, which always draws a dog to you. For a deaf dog, that body language stuff is super important. Stepping into him like this, and also the backing away draws him to you. But you have the leash on, so go to your right and show this. Your right, turn. You, yes, show the dogs. There you go. But okay, and show him, see how he's looking at the dogs. Come. Good. So you can come by, it's okay. So keep showing Diego. Okay? So he sees the dogs. Come. See that? We let that happen on purpose so you can see. Worst case scenario, we get surprised by a couple of dogs. He's on a leash. See, no tight leashes. He's interested. He's friendly, actually. And then I'm going to draw him away. See, I never used the tight leash once. I never did this. I never restrained him. If you do that, you'll cause a dog that's mildly interested in other dogs on the street, you'll cause a dog like that to have leash aggression, because this just doubles the intensity, probably by 10 over, weeks and months that pass of this kind of stuff, and pulling him away from other dogs, and him staring plus leash tension can create extreme overstimulation on the leash over time, and it can turn into aggression. So we didn't do it that way. They showed up, that they work here, it's a grooming place. Two little dogs coming around the corner. It was a perfect example to show you out of the blue and surprise us all. And so that's what I would do. You see a dog coming from down the street, every dog you see coming, come. Do that every time. Call him to you, step into him. Maybe if there's a car, like there's a car here, just keep filming. You're going to use the car as a physical block. If they were coming this way, you wait till they go back that way. If they're coming this way, the other way, it's the same thing. Wait until they pass by. Okay, and then continue your walk going that way. Something like that. If you're super extra careful, he never will develop a problem, and actually every time you see a dog, he'll be less and less interested, because when you do it this way, you're desensitizing him to that distraction on the street. And it's always a tap. He sees me backing away. He gets paid. Good. You do it that way, and his stress level goes down every time. And the pattern is, he sees that dog or whatever it is. Do it with skateboarders, bicyclists, joggers. Do it with everybody. That way you'll never have an issue with him. And it's a great way. Now, she led dogs back out, but you don't have to worry about it. Calling him away. Come. Good. So, you do it this way, and he gets better and better all the time. Less and less overstimulated by any distraction on the street. That's what I recommend you do. And over time, you're not going to have a problem with anything ever, because you set yourself up for success by practicing the appropriate behavior pattern before there is a problem. So you keep doing this, and you never have a problem later on. Okay. So this is a Saturday, super busy here, and I'm just gonna go like this just to help him make the right choice, because there's so many people here, and we've actually never dealt with this many people here, in such a crowded space before. So we're gonna be keeping the leash loose. You see, if he pulls against it, I tap it, and if I bring this dog through, and you're gonna follow me through a bunch of a big crowd of people, I'm just gonna give him treats as we go through to keep him next to me with a loose leash, and it's the easiest way to do it. And we even have a dog right here, so keep filming me. We're gonna go this way around everybody. Crazy busy here, but I'm doing the same thing. See, the leash is always loose. And I'm keeping him calm by just giving him treats to get him through a tough space. Show the dog right there. And show Diego. And I'm going to say, come. That dog starts growling and pulling away. Like they have to pull their dog away and pick him up. And Diego's like, whatever. So right now you have a dog that's really sweet and not aggressive with other dogs. And we're just here to show you that he can do a sit-stay, for example, in the presence of a ton of distractions. Just a quick sit-stay. Even though he's completely deaf, he can't hear anything, that could make him more reactive just through sight. But we have been practicing out in public a lot, so you see what we have with that. And I'm going to give him a little reward. Hello. Good boy. Let him be loose, go. Let some people pass by if they want to. And then we're going to do a little downstay. Come. Good. Always doing that little reset circle to set him up. And a little tension on the leash. The good news is that his down is super solid to stay. Usually with most dogs, well, most dogs I would say you have to say the command multiple times as well, but the stay is even harder for them to stay in the presence of distractions. With him, he's got a solid stay. Once he's there, he's not going to give up even. Just go to your right a little bit to show, just turn to your right to show, so the camera goes to your right, okay, to show what's going on here. And also behind him. Good. And people going around him. If he pops up because he's surprised, you're just going to do this, and that surprised him. You're just going to calmly reset him, put him back, because he got surprised by that cart. Obviously, he can't hear them, so he got surprised. We're going to finish this downstay here. Just a little walk around, downstay, real simple. And he's focused mostly on me, as you can see. One last reward. Good. You're rewarding just as if he's on the mat. That's why he's so good at this out in public, is because we practice the mat at our place, and then we start using it out in public. Okay. Sit. And then release him. Go. Go. And I would say practicing in really busy places like this, just shoot for a couple minutes, get a big success, and leave, because we never know what a dog's breaking point's going to be. And I think it's way too soon. Maybe in a year, when you get to know him really well, you know what he does and what he doesn't do when he spends a lot of time in public, but gradually work up to more and more time in public. But right now, just shoot for a couple of successful situations like this. And he's so good already. Just gradually build on how much time he spends out here, so that you always end your time out in public like this, where he's like this. And then every day you do this, he's going to be a little bit better. Okay, let's go. Come on, buddy.